Oh, he's looking at us.
Yeah, eyes are. I'm just gonna make sure. Good evening, everyone. Could we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's small.
It's a little dark.
I'd like to welcome everybody. If we could start off with roll call.
Gardner,
Here,
Christie,
excused.
Deacon,
Here.
Pomelo,
Here.
Strubing, here, Thomas, here, and Watson.
Here.
Do I have a motion to accept the previous minutes?
There actually are no minutes.
No minutes.
Nope, not on this one.
Okay, then with that said, we'll move on. Petitions and communications. Any?
Nope.
Nope. And report of the town manager?
So because the meeting
Thank
is
you.
a week early, we did not meet yet. And obviously everyone's been super busy with budgets. The one new item that I just got a call today is I had put in an application to be a certified town manager with MTCMA and that passed. And
Nice.
because of that, now we save 10% on our insurances. So that'll be a discount to the town as well. I'm not sure what the number is yet, but when we get it, we'll let you know.
Awesome, congrats.
Thanks. That's all I got.
That's all you got? Perfect, short and sweet. All right, public hearings?
Yep, we start off with 16-26, amendments to Standish Town Code, Chapter 188, massage establishments and therapists. This is the second reading on it. The town of Standish hereby ordains that Chapter 188, massage establishments and therapists of the Standish Town Code be and hereby is amended as follows. Additions are underlined, deletions are struck out.
Motion to waive reading.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Unanimous? Is there anybody here to speak on this?
Can I just give a brief summary since we waived the reading?
Absolutely.
So what it is the massage therapist would have to be approved by the town council. We're changing that so that it doesn't have to come to a council meeting and the town manager can make those approvals.
Great. Any public comments? Questions? Town council comments? Seeing none, roll call?
Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing,
Yep.
Thomas,
Yes.
and Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses.
So passes.
And then moving on to 17-26, amendments to Standish Town Code, Chapter 181, land use regarding the official zoning map and assessor's map, tax map 14, lot 9L. The town of Standish hereby ordains that the official zoning map of the town of Standish, which map is part of Chapter 181 land use of the Standish Town Code, being hereby is amended to change the zoning designation of the following properties as described below. Assessor's tax map 14, lot 9L, change the zoning designation of this property from Sebago Lake Village to Industrial District as particularly known on the attached sketch map entitled Proposed Zoning Map. The attached sketch map is for general reference purposes only. The official zoning map will be amended upon approval of this order.
Great. Mr. Watson?
Yeah, I think I'd like to make a motion to table this and move it to a workshop to coincide with the workshop that we want to have regarding all the other town parcels that we discussed in the budget meeting to see if we want to move other stuff into industrial zoning or rezone other areas and look at all the town, facilities at that time. It was one large program rather than just piecemeal things together.
I second that.
So we've got a motion and a second. All in favor? So passes. We will table this and schedule it for a workshop.
Okay, so next up is 26-26, application submitted by Spencer Mackin doing business on the Rocks Bar Company, LLC located 64 Bonnie Eagle Pond Road for a renewal of on-premises beer, wine, and spirits qualified catering service license. Whereas section 187-13A of the Standish Town Code requires a public hearing for license applications unless the applicant has held a license for the past 5 years without complaint, and whereas the applicant is submitted their second renewal application and does not meet the criteria of the waiver for the public hearing requirement, ordered that the application submitted by Spencer Mackin doing business on the Rocks Bar Company, LLC, located at 64 Bonnie Eagle Pond Road, a renewal on-premises beer, wine, spirits qualified catering service license is approved by council to expire as determined by Department of Public Safety.
Hi, everyone. I'm Spencer Mackin.
Oh, hold on now.
Oh, yeah, please, go for it. I'm sorry.
We'll go to the public. So, go ahead.
You want me to sit down?
No, you can go now.
Okay, I just wanted to introduce myself, let you know that I'm Spencer Mackin. I'm here for any questions, any comments, anything like that.
Thank you.
All right, great, thank you, appreciate that. Normally, what I'll do is I'll open it up to if there's any public out there that have questions on this. Seeing none, any council comments or questions? One?
It says on point number 19, your business hours, you have listed 9A to 5P. When I Google it, it says open 24 hours. When I go to your website, it says as booked basis. What are your hours?
Correct, so it's typically 9 to 5 in terms of answering clients. 9 to 5 is typical my range. Otherwise, I do answer clients, before 9 a.m. I answer clients after 5 p.m. So it's a little bit of a,
What time would you be serving alcohol?
That depends. So I serve alcohol at weddings. I'm strictly weddings, maybe private events for corporates. That's typically, on a normal basis, like, say 4 or 5 p.m. to 9 or 10. But my office hours obviously vary. So that's more of a office hour type of situation.
Thank you. And it number 18, there's not an address listed for your business records?
It should be 64 on Eagle Pond.
Sorry, we redacted that.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep.
And that's it.
Phil?
Just to be clear, you do, all you do on premises is mainly answer the phone and schedule stuff, is that?
Correct, yeah, it's kind of, counterintuitive. I don't serve alcohol at my address, The on-premise is when I show up to an event. I serve alcohol from then on, depends on the town. I have to get permits for events and, so on and so forth. So it depends on the town, obviously. But yeah, like you said, at my specific residence, I only answer the phones.
I think I already knew that, but I didn't know if the public knew that, that's why.
Yeah, totally.
Sure. I just have more of a housekeeping question. Is there a reason why we can't move this to the purview of the town manager like we did with the massage therapists?
They did last year or the year before, but they made it so that way if they're in good standing for 5 years, we don't have to do this. It's just an order. It's not a public hearing. But if you wanted to look into something else, I am at I can do whatever you guys want.
I think if we can make it just kind of like we did with the last massage therapist, just let the town manager sign off. If everybody's in good standing and everybody's happy, just.
Okay, I can look into that for sure, yeah.
I like seeing you guys for the next 3 years.
I like seeing you too.
It might be a state law requirement, because if you look at the last page, it looks like either municipal officers of Standish or county commissioners of Cumberland.
Yeah, this page is more, it's what it used to be, but now that everything's done online through Bablo, which is the Bureau of Alcohol,
Right.
Lottery, and
Everything's online now.
Operations, everything's online, so we still use this, because I upload this onto the Bablo web,
okay.
but whether or not it's necessary, this is just from the old paper application, so I'll certainly look into that, that'd be good.
Thank you.
Great. Yes, there's a,
Just two more things. On the state of Maine inspection report, number 8 and number 14, Have those been corrected?
What are 8 and 14?
8 is adequate hand washing facilities,
Yes,
and food contact surfaces are cleaned and sanitized.
correct.
Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Get a roll call?
Yeah, Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing. Yes. Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses.
Alrighty. Committee reports. Appointments Committee and Personnel Committee did not meet this month, so nothing to report. We'll go to, Mr. Christie is excused. Transportation.
Yes, we tried to set up a transportation committee, but due to absences of some town employees and we weren't able to do that. So we are planning to set up a transportation committee meeting in the next short period. We do have the town budget to deal with, but we hope to address having a meeting within the next few weeks. And we'll be talking to the relevant town employees to help plan that.
Okay, great. Capital improvements,
We didn't meet, so I guess we're good.
good to go. Okay. Finance,
Our meeting has been rescheduled due to illnesses for March 13th at 4 PM.
April?
Sorry, April 13th at 4 PM. Thank you.
Okay. April 14th. Can I get that time one more time?
4 PM.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Economic,
We didn't meet last month. We're meeting this month on April 15th at 4 PM.
4 PM. And ordinance.
Haven't met yet this month. We are meeting later this month, but we are bringing forward a few things later on in the agenda
Tonight?
tonight.
Okay, perfect. Great, thank you. Consent calendar?
Yeah, so the consent calendar is typically read by title only, as they're normally just housekeeping items for operations. So
Okay.
if you prefer, we can go ahead and break it out. So 27-26, Town Council appointment of election clerks. 28-26, appointment of election warden, deputy election wardens, election ballot clerks, clerk and deputy clerk to serve at the June 9, 2026 election. 29-26, establish voter registration hours prior to the June 9, 2026 election and notice of other election-related information. And then 30-26, countersign the main school administrative district number 6 warrants for their upcoming June 9, 2026 elections.
Okay. Are there any public comments or questions on any of those? Council comments?
No comments, but well, I don't have any comments, but if there's no other comments, I'd like to make a motion to vote on all these as a whole.
Yes.
Second.
Second, yeah. We have a motion to vote on it as a whole. We have a second. All in favor? That's unanimous. Roll call?
Yep. Okay, so Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
Yes.
Pomelo.
Yes.
Strubing.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
That's 6 yeses.
Perfect. There are no unfinished business, so we're gonna move on to new business.
Yep, so we'll go ahead to 31-26, which is a resolution to authorize participation in the Maine Municipal Employees Health Trust. Be it resolved by the Council of the Town of Standish as follows, that the Town of Standish join with other participating municipal and quasi-municipal employers in the multiple employer welfare arrangement for the provision of employee health benefits as authorized by 24-A MRSA, Section 6601, said arrangement to be known as the Maine Municipal Employees Health Trust. And for that purpose, in consideration of mutual covenants and agreements among the participation employers, to authorize the town manager to enter into a participation agreement on behalf of town and take whatever other actions may be necessary. The authority granted herein shall remain until revoked.
Any public questions, comments? Council comments? Brendan?
I just like to make one, and that's just say thank you to the town for doing this. I know it's an expense, a large expense to the tax, to the town. But to have a health insurance for our staff that covers all their needs, especially the mental health stuff, I think that's super important and benefits and insurances in a lot of ways do more to retain good employees than, just giving them extra money. So I appreciate the effort put into this, and I think this is a great step in the right direction.
I agree. Thank you. Lisa?
I second what Brandon said. Do we have to wait until budget is finalized to take care of this one?
I don't believe so. No, you don't, because they need this information next month.
So what happens if we pass it and then budget comes back and it's not in there, it's not approved?
And we'll have to make some discussion about that, yeah.
When do they need this by?
By the end of this month and the beginning of next month.
Questions?
I have a comment.
Yes.
The employees met with the Personnel Committee. Employees have very clearly said that they want this insurance compared to what they've had before. And it's very important that we listen to our employees and take heed of things that have concerned them about their benefits and to keep them healthy so they can continue to work for the town. So in that spirit of communicating well and listening to our employees, I strongly support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Can I get one more clarifier? Sorry.
Let me go to Phil first, and then I'll go back to you.
I think the council supports this. It looks like everybody here does. So even if the budget committee should come back, all it is recommendations to the council. We don't have to accept their recommendation. I really think we need to move this forward and not wait any longer. It's been a long time coming. Knowing we have the full support of the council for this, I have no problem moving forward.
Thank you. Lisa?
Nope, I'm good. I'm good.
Sure. Okay. Roll call?
Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing.
Yep.
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses. And then we have 32-26, received list of delinquent personal property accounts from finance director as required by the personal property tax collection policy, whereas town council order 37-15 adopted the outstanding personal property tax collection policy, which provides the procedural outline for the finance department staff to follow in collection of unpaid personal property taxes. And whereas in March, the finance department reviewed the outstanding accounts and sent letters to taxpayers in question as required in the policy. And whereas the policy requires that the attached list of delinquent taxpayers is presented to the town council at their April meeting. Now be it ordered that the finance director is authorized to mail letters to the taxpayers in question, notifying them of their status of their account, and further ordered that the second order to the council regarding this procedure will be presented to them at the regular town council meeting in June 2026.
Anybody here to speak on that or have any questions? Any council questions, comments? Yes.
So not sure why we see this. It's the same thing. I think that the town is fully capable of looking at this without coming to the council every year. I'm not sure why it comes here to us.
It's part of the,
Go ahead.
this was the attorney's recommendation as a collection procedure in order to help collect these taxes that weren't being paid.
Yeah, I guess I get it, but I'm not sure why the council has to put their stamp on it, that's all.
Lisa? I'm sorry.
Jen,
Jen, yes, I know.
I think in conjunction with us doing what we do with this tonight, that the finance committee maybe should take a look at that policy and see if maybe we can tweak it a bit so it's not coming before the council for such small amounts or something.
Roll call?
Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon.
Yes.
Pomelo.
Yes.
Strubing.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
That's 6 yeses. So 33-26, amendments to Standish Town Code, Chapter 181, changes to Section 181, 7.1, form-based code village districts. The town of Standish hereby ordains that Chapter 181, form-based code village districts of the Standish Town Code being hereby is amended as follows. Additions are,
Motion, we waive the reading.
I second that.
all right,
All in favor?
it's a long one.
So it passes. Any,
I think in lieu of a reading, if maybe Scott could summarize what's being done.
Sure. So the ordinance committee has been working on these changes for at least 6 months now. It's a big one, so I'm glad you waived the reading. You would have been here all night. We are looking at the form-based code village districts, which are Standish Corner here at Ospey Trail, and then Lake Village down toward the boat launch. Both of these are somewhat elaborate sections of ordinance, so we're looking to simplify them a bit and make them a little more friendly to future development, especially commercial development in certain areas. So in order to do this, one of the biggest changes is the districts are split into sort of sub-districts based on street frontage types, which is what this is, the existing map of Standish Corner. So each road section is given a type, and then the allowed uses on that are different for the different types. And this gets very confusing because it's not how zoning ordinances are often set up, and that confuses people. So we've tried to simplify this to some extent by consolidating some of these street frontage types. Mainly so on this one, it's the core and main, which is the red right at the intersection, and then the sort of orangish that continues down toward Gorham. We consolidated those into a single street frontage type that I think we kept it as core as the name. Center. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting my Sebago Lake and my Standish Corner. So it's center here in Standish Corner, and we did the same thing with fringe and core in Sebago Lake. We kept the core name. And this is they're almost entirely redundant distinctions. So we combined them in, made sure the use list still made sense, and struck the extra pages of ordinance that covered them. And then in the Standish Corner district here, we currently allow 2 types of new streets, which would be the residential or avenue. And to help, this was very confusing to people because they'd come in and they'd talk to Zach or I about what can we do on this parcel, and it would be, depends on what you want to do on the parcel, which street you want to build. And so we've moved it so that in most cases, any new street would be a town avenue street. So they have one section of ordinance they get to look at on what's allowed, unless they're coming off of an existing residential street. We didn't want to open that up to the commercial elements that are allowed on Avenue Street. So in those instances, we did retain the residential use distinction for those areas so as to not make big changes to any existing neighborhoods. So that's the biggest, most complicated change. We also have a number of street design requirements tied to these different street frontage types, and a lot of these are on existing roads that you can't build more of for the ordinance, and many of them are not even town roads, they're state roads, so we don't really have control over what those roads look like in terms of a road width and things like that without talking to the state, without doing a lot of work. So we are often just strike all that language so that people aren't thinking they need to rebuild our major roads just because they want to put a business on them, and made some minor refinements to the new road sort of layouts of the residential and avenue. Nothing too elaborate, and mostly based on feedback from people who have built or live on these roads that have been built in the last decade or so. This has been on the books. I guess before I go too far, please stop me if you have any questions about anything I've said before, because this does go on. Okay. The other elements would be consolidating the sign regulations. They were repeated for each street frontage type, so there was 9 different sections of ordinance that you might have to go to, depending on where your property is, to see what kind of sign would be allowed. So we consolidated that into a single area, so you can find it easily and see what you can do. There are also building form standards, sort of architectural and aesthetic standards for what a building can be in this district, and we've gone over those to try and simplify them so they're more approachable and readable for your average person who wants to put a building up without necessarily hiring a full architectural firm to design it, and make that a little more easy for people, while keeping the intentions of keeping the buildings to fit into our existing architectural aesthetic that we have here. So that included removing some of the language about percentage fenestration and things like that in favor of more simple lengths of blank wall. Percentage fenestration is the amount of windows and doors you have in the length of wall facing the street. And making it so that the number of, we currently require a working door facing the main street. And in many of these street frontage types require it every 50 feet. That's not workable for how a lot of buildings are designed these days, especially commercial buildings. It makes it hard for loss prevention and just keeping how flow works through a store. So we get up that to 100 feet. Still keeps the intention of keeping activity at the street level, but makes it a lot more easy to design a building around. And simplified a few other sections on building materials, sign and roof projections, and some other undefinable and odd sections that nobody's really sure how they ended up in there in the first place. Let's see, we also removed the street tree and sidewalk lighting requirements. Again, this is mostly based on feedback from people who live on streets that have been built in the last few years. There's been a lot of pushback on street trees on residential streets, where the people who bought or built houses on them would prefer to figure out their own landscaping in their own ways rather than have a designated requirement for trees right in front of their house. And I think this makes a lot of sense, given that we do also have some setback requirements that interact with that. And those are most of the big things. There's a few refining of the allowed uses, primarily around moving 2 to 4 unit residential buildings out of the planning board purview to the CEO's review. This is in keeping with the recently passed state law about how multi-unit buildings can be reviewed. And we will be seeing in the next few months another order coming through from the ordinance committee about this in other sections of town. And then some minor expansions of what are allowed commercial uses in the gateway street frontage types, which are the ones in this map in blue, but that are a little more farther flowing from the actual center of these villages. Thank you. That's about it. We removed the building height minimums, and we reduced the minimum lot size on town residential streets to 20,000 square feet, which is also in keeping with that state law.
It's a lot of work. Thank you, Scott and team.
Yes. Any public comments?
Anthony Folsom, Standish resident. With rewriting the comprehension plan, is this conflicting with anything that we just put in for a comp plan? Just for an understanding, so.
It comes more in line with the what we wanted with the comprehensive plan, so I think it's gonna, enhance it and allow the comprehensive plan to actually work as intended rather than, fighting each other.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Council? Jen?
I will say that once the comprehensive plan got finalized, the Economic Development Committee and the Ordinance Committee got to work. And this is the culmination of many meetings and a lot of hard work by the committee.
Great. Bob?
So on page 1, the third bullet says, based on feedback on existing roads that have been built in the last few years, we're proposing that the new Standish Corner residential roads have 3-foot paved shoulders to better accommodate all modes of traffic and deliveries. Existing roads built with without these have been seen as too narrow, but full 5-foot bike lanes were felt to make these smaller side roads too wide. So it has been proposed that we have more bike paths in town. And this may affect the bike paths. I mean, how can you go anywhere in town without going through Central District, for example? And so what I'm proposing is that this be tabled until the Transportation Committee can review it to consider how it may affect or not bike paths and bike routes around town.
So that requirement is specifically on the residential roads, so it would only affect new roads being built that are coming off of existing residential streets. These primarily would not be connector streets. They are usually dead-end streets, as much as we try and make them connect to things. They're also going to be almost entirely residential. We don't allow almost any commercial uses on those streets. And they are meant to be a neighborhood street. So they're not going to see a huge amount of traffic of any type, let alone, and I think people want to see a narrower street in a residential area because they want speeds down, they want to feel comfortable walking along them and biking along them in a way that is more of a shared route than a fully separated bike element. Whereas if you'll see within that same bullet point, talk about the new Town Avenue roads, and we are moving to a full multimodal sidewalk, an 8-foot sidewalk, which would allow bike and pedestrian traffic to coexist completely out of the road, make that bike path connection that the town has been talking about.
So I appreciate what you're saying. Still, residents have come forward desiring better bike access around town, and passing this without having it being reviewed by the Transportation Committee and to fully consider those bike needs, I would suggest would not be prudent. So I would suggest that this be.
I would say that one of the bike advocates in town was part of the Comprehensive Plan Committee and also attended the Ordinance and Economic Development Committees where these rules were developed, for what it's worth.
A person, thank you.
Andrew Walton, I believe, you've probably spoken to about this. I know he's the most prominent advocate in this.
Still, I would prefer to have it go through the Transportation Committee. And I would amend to table this pending its review by the Transportation Committee.
I would second that.
Any
There's not a
any
hurry.
comments? I don't know if well, I didn't hear a motion yet, but
Oh, you just proposed, did you make a motion to table it?
are you making a motion?
Yes,
It-
I move to table it pending its review by the Transportation Committee.
And as there's not a rush on it, I would second that.
Any other comments or? Well, we have a motion and a second, so all in favor?
There's not a rush on it.
2 yeses and 4 noes.
Did you do the no vote?
There was just on the motion, all in favor, so, did you raise for,
I'm a no.
right? that's
It
fine.
would seem that you ought to ask for the other votes, whatever.
Can we redo that vote, just so I can get it clear?
So all in favor of the motion to table it? We have 2 yeses, 4 noes.
You didn't ask for the no's.
You gotta ask for them. You gotta ask for all opposed.
All opposed?
We already know what it is.
Sorry, yeah, I thought that was just,
Still
given. I thought it was given, my
format.
bad, my bad. We haven't had to do that yet. So it doesn't pass. Any questions or any other concerns on this before we vote?
Just want to kind of reiterate what Janet said, that we worked a long time on this, and this is, brass tacks gonna simplify everything for the town. So if you're a business owner out there who's come to the town before and maybe didn't get the answer you wanted, come back and, we'll see if we can work something out, please.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. There was a lot said about a lot of meetings, a lot of time spent on this. I don't feel that there's really any reason to delay it right now. If there are no other questions or anything, we'll take a roll call.
Yeah. Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
No?
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing. No. Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
All right, that's 4 yeses, 2 noes, so that will move it
So
to
passes.
first hearing.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, so we have 34-26, amendments to Standish Town Code, Chapter 181 blasting. The town of Standish hereby ordains that the Chapter 181 blasting of the Standish Town Code being hereby is amended as follows. Additions.
Motion to waive the reading?
Second.
All in favor? 7 or 6?
And I'll also do the same thing, if we want to defer to Scott or Zach about what the updates are.
Absolutely.
Alright, so our ordinance, what brought this about is our ordinance currently requires a blasting that is done within 200 feet of a property line or 300 feet of a structure not owned by the person doing the blasting to get written permission from the abutting property or structure owner before conducting any blasting. And upon, we were requested by a resident and business owner in town to take a look at this because they had not run into it in the past in other developments. And upon review, this is a incredibly unusual. I could not find another town that has this requirement, and it does present a significant and unusual imposition of neighbors to restrict development of abutting properties. So we took a look at it and we found that that was the case. So we decided to talk to the ordinance committee and wanted to remove that requirement. We did feel that it was more, that this was reasonable to remove for short-term, like one-time, blasting for a foundation, blasting for a roadway. But if in the instance of things that might be blasting on a more regular, ongoing basis, like a gravel pit, we probably want to keep this in place so that there is that restriction on something that's going to be happening over and over again. So we moved that requirement out of the blasting section into our gravel pit performance standards, so we do retain it for those types of uses, and now it would not apply to your more limited roadway or house foundation type blasting. Given this review of ordinances, we found some other things in our blasting ordinance that are a little out of date that could be revised to be a little more clear, thorough, and give more protection to abutters. And that is increasing our notice requirements so that all abutting properties within 500 feet of where blasting was going to, the property line of the property where blasting is going to occur would be notified. Any structures or wells that are located within 500 feet of the actual blasting would need to have be offered the opportunity to have pre-blast surveys or well tests done at the expense of the person doing the blasting. And this just makes sure that we're all on the same ground, and that if anything does happen because of that, they have recourse to then claim any damages that they may have against the insurance that is required to be held by the blasting company.
Brandon, your name's on this and you're on the ordinance committee. Do you want to touch on that, or did
That
he?
sums it up.
Sums it up. Any public comments or questions? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address.
Deanna Loring, 166 Oak Hill Road. I've been here before over the blasting issue when the Highland subdivision was being built. Sadly, my house sits on the same ledge that rock face is on. And so although everyone thought that the blasting locations was far enough away from my house that they indicated we were 500 feet from the blasting zone, it didn't matter because my house shook. And I really wish you hadn't waived the reading, because I feel like one of the lines in this top sentence says to block construction of small lots which require blasting. It doesn't indicate to protect a abutter, to help them not defend, but to protect their own property, because this all occurred, and I know very well, is because Mr. Levitt was going to blast on a lot next to ours, and I wouldn't let him blast, because it was much closer to our house and our well. He was still able to dig up a whole lot of dirt without the blasting, probably above and beyond what code is, which is, I would like to speak about also at some point tonight. But beyond that, and it wasn't that I didn't want him to build a house, because you have a right to do with what you want with your land, but I also have a right to protect my property. And when they were building that ledge face, there was blasts that were surging water into our sump pump and creating our sump pump to go off on a July sunny day. Stuff was falling off the walls. We had security cameras that the speakers blew out because of the thing of the blast. So I understand, I do understand both sides of this. I've lived it. I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever had one of those blasting notices on your front door, and then you go through that survey with the insurance company, have you? It's very stressful. And that gentleman that comes, he doesn't care about your property. He does not. He was more concerned about the blemishes on my siding than where my well was. And that's a fact. Whether I let him in my house or not. I had already videotaped the inside of my house. I was going to let it happen, but then when his lack of concern for my well and how close this blasting would have been is what brought me down to see the code enforcement officer. And that's when, for the first time, we found out that abutters within 200 feet of a property line could say no. I didn't have that opportunity when the Highlands were built. Nobody told us that. And I didn't see that in the code. And Kaylee Drive is 100 feet from my property. I darn sure would have said no then as well. It wouldn't have stopped Kaylee Drive. It wouldn't have stopped the development. It just would have had to have been moved a little bit. And if you ever drive down Kaylee Drive, you see that rock cliff. My house is attached to that, no matter how far away it is. So I understand the ordinance and I appreciate it. And, you know, I get that the homeowners need to be notified. We can't stop development. But there's also this fine line, and especially when it comes to the less than 300 feet. This change doesn't, or the 300 cubic yards, this doesn't change much of that. And it puts it all on the code enforcement officer in his purvey. And in my experience, that hasn't been very good. I hope other people have had better experiences with them than I have, to make sure that my rights are protected as well in my land. So I know this is the first reading. I know there's going to be some more work done on this before a full public comment. Am I correct? Or if you approve this tonight, this just keeps moving forward? Correct.
You're correct. If we vote on it today, it'll move forward.
Okay. Can more changes occur throughout this process?
If we vote on it as is tonight, this is how it will go through.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just trying to find out, is this the last this is getting looked at? And are you going to talk to any homeowners who may have been affected by this?
The ordinance can, if the council would have to make a motion to send it back to ordinance, so if they wanted to substantially change it from what it currently is
Right.
now.
If we vote on it as is, it's gonna move forward as is.
It's gonna move
There'll be
forward
no
as
more
is.
discussion.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, there's several things in here that I know that I've incurred. Like, I mean, right now I have 19 emails because I didn't answer the phone when Highlands was being built, of telling me when blasting was going to occur, and it was blasting is occurring today. Well, the ordinance says they're supposed to give you a time, and that's 19 that I didn't answer the phone. So when we're talking about larger developments being built, you really need to look at that as well and the effect it has on the people surrounding them. And I don't know if I'm the only one who's complaining or complained then or has said no to this type of ordinance in the past, but I have every right to.
I thank you for your comments, and we will definitely take it in consideration. Everybody's definitely.
Yeah, I just think
How they vote?
there needs to be some more clarity, especially for the under 300 cubic yards being removed. That's not very clear. And I don't know if, and I'm sorry, I'm going over time. I don't know if, when it says like from 3 on, the stuff that's supposed to happen as far as the notification and whatnot, if that's for all blasting or just the larger blasting. So I just think there's just needs to be some more clarity on both sides, the bigger projects and the smaller projects.
So, thank you for your
Thank you.
comments.
Anthony Folsom, resident of Standish. I go to the ordinance committee meetings, and I was kind of taken back that this person wasn't notified of the ordinance committee meeting, and I think she should have been notified to be there to make her points known, and now we don't have a chance to listen to it until the final vote. So I think it's a thing the town messed up on. Thank you.
Our whole meeting's posted on the website.
Yeah, so I would encourage you to sign up for news and announcements. That's where we post everything to find out about them.
I do. I've never seen anything on the ordinance committee.
Usually on the ordinance committee, it doesn't tell you what is on the topics of the day. So I check it all the time. It's posted on my refrigerator, the town schedule of the month, and they're not there. So unless you guys are gonna elaborate what exactly is gonna be talked about, it should be printed out of what's gonna be on the agenda.
So it's good information to take into consideration. Appreciate that. Are there any other public comments? Council comments? Bob?
So Standish doesn't have public water supply in large parts of the town. Wells are critical to virtually most of the, if not, the highest percentage of residents depend on wells that are drilled or dug. And blasting, what is an earthquake? It can be detected around the world. I mean, depending on the geology, soft versus hard rock, these vibrations travel and they can have effect on people's wells. And I would suggest that we need to make a very critical look at how blasting can affect wells and make sure that we, maybe even 500 feet is way too low, and that the riparian effects of people losing access to their well water could be very, very critical. So I would oppose this. Thank you.
First of all, the ordinance committee doesn't target individuals in town. We didn't do this ordinance to target any one person or one piece of property. We can make amendments anywhere along the line here. If you had some amendments you want to offer to us, I'd be obviously willing to add them into this, but, and we can do it at the next reading also, but I'm not sure what you're looking for exactly tonight here. But I'm probably going to move this along because we still have, I'm sorry.
Can't talk, well, you're asking me, so.
I just said we didn't talk, I'm just saying if you could get some stuff in writing, what you don't like here, I for one would take a look at it, no doubt, and at the next meeting, I would bring changes if we need to, because obviously we're not blast experts, anybody in this room. We listen to people, what they're saying, we try to bring the ordinance as close to what we feel is a good ordinance. If we miss something, I'll be the first to change it. So that's where I'm at.
Great, thanks. Lisa?
A couple things, 2, 3 things. Page 2, section 4A, you've removed the line, such notification shall be the responsibility of the applicant. This is in regards to sending out notifications by first-class mail at least 10 days prior. You've removed the responsibility by the applicant to do this. And the next line says failure of property owners to receive the notice is their problem. So who's responsible for mailing? Because there's no responsibility taken here for which party?
I took that out because this is from the public hearings that are held in front of the planning board.
Mhm.
The town notices all planning board public hearings.
But this is all abutting property owners within 500 feet of the property line of the property for which the permit is requested shall be notified by first-class mail. Who's responsible for
The
that?
town notices all planning board public hearings.
By first-class mail?
We mail out all notifications of public hearings. for
By
your
first-class
public-
mail?
I would have to talk to Jackie exactly how she mails them. She's the one who mails them. But Town mails all public hearing notices, and that's why I took that out, because we do not ask the applicant to do it. We make sure it's done ourselves.
So we do that administrative work at our cost
We
for
do
the
that for all
applicant?
public hearings held in front of the planning board, no matter what application is being brought.
So you're talking about a public notice, but I'm talking about property owners being notified by first-class mail, property owners.
Yes.
You're talking about everybody in the town. This is a
I'm
specifically.
not talking about everybody in the
Buddy.
town. I am talking about abutters notices.
Okay, all right.
Town mails abutter notices for every application that comes in front of the planning board, because we hold a public hearing. We are required by law to do so.
Okay, and you don't know if that's by first-class mail?
Don't mail them myself.
I'll make,
There's no need for that. We can be civil. It's simple yes or no. Do you
I
know
don't
if
mail
it's?
them myself, so I do not know, because I.
Okay,
do
thank
not-
you. That's fine.
I have an answer for that.
Go ahead.
Because I've gotten a letter from the town because I've been an abutter to a project and it did come first-class mail. So at least mine, I'll verify that it was a first-class
Then
mail.
yes, they are done by first class.
Okay, so then that's fine. And then on page 3 of 4, it's on the top section 2A. It says the cost of the pre-blast survey for a structure within 500 feet shall be borne by the applicant, but all other costs of the surveys are borne by property owners. What, can you explain that? I don't know what that means.
So any structure which is within 500 feet of the blast site, the applicant must pay for a pre-blast survey, assuming that the owner consents to such a survey.
Okay,
If someone who is noticed because their property is within 500 feet of the property, but their structures are outside of 500 feet from the blast site, wants to have a survey done, they need to be given that opportunity, but the applicant is not responsible for paying for it.
okay, so it's outside of the 500 feet.
Right.
Okay. All right. And the difference between the drainage and the access ways versus other things, on page 1, it talks about no blasting except reasonably necessary or drainage ways or access ways can occur within 200 feet of an abutting property. Who determines reasonably necessary?
Planning board.
Is that stuff that needs to be specified in here by chance?
I mean, that is part of the planning board review of a gravel pit.
Mhm.
So I believe it is. It's just not in that paragraph, but it is in the section of things the planning board is responsible for reviewing.
Okay, all right.
I don't, and this is, I'm sorry, I don't mean to make a mess of this, but that's where the 300 cubic yards being removed or not. If it's over 300 cubic yards, it goes to the planning board. If
So this
it's
is
under
two different
300,
sections we're talking about with planning
Right.
board.
But that goes to some of the questions that she has.
The question she had is about gravel pits, which are not contingent on a volume. They go to the planning board no matter what. Then within the blasting section, there is a distinction between 300 yards or less, or more than 300 yards. And that is the CEO can approve small, under 300 yards, and the planning board does over. Notifications are required as laid out in section D for both of those amounts. All blasting requires these notifications to butters.
So section D, that's what it's stating is for all.
Right.
Okay, because that wasn't clear.
The only section that is only for the planning board is that section 4 where the planning board public hearing. All of these other performance standards, which they do say explicitly say for all blasting, but the notices are also for all blasting.
Thank you for clarifying.
No, you're good. Any other questions, comments? No. I just have two things. It's really not on this. First, I just apologize for you not feeling like you got notice of the ordinance meetings and things like that. Maybe that's something that we failed on or whatnot. And thank you to Tony for bringing that up. I think that maybe we could take a look at how we put things out and make sure we put it out with more information. I think more information is always valuable and good. And maybe we could just take a look at that. So I do apologize for that. And then you're welcome. And moving on, we will take roll call.
Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
No.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing,
No.
Thomas,
Abstain, conflict of interest.
and Watson.
Yes.
Great, so that is three yeses and 2 nos,
One abstain.
and 1 abstain, so this will, sorry, we actually need 4,
Yes.
we went over this, we need 4 votes on either side, so you are more than welcome to,
Do
or
we
it
want to
fails.
re-talk about it or?
I would make a motion to send it back to ordinance. I mean, if there was an issue with the agenda not being on the website, I would make a motion to send it back to ordinance so that people who wanted to attend now knowing what is on there could attend. I made a motion to move it to ordinance.
And as part of that, I suggest you invite the Portland Water District to attend because of their knowledge of how things like blasting may affect water and water supplies. And so I would urge that the ordinance committee invite experts to testify on how it may affect wells. Thank you.
So I made a motion to move it back to ordinance.
I second it.
All right, motion to move it back to ordinance with a second. All in favor? We have 2 yeses. All opposed? We have three opposed and 1 abstained. Could I ask you a question? Because it sounded like you had a question and you were a little confused on maybe some of the wording and writing. And then through the conversation, it sounded like you kind of got your answer.
Well, I just got some clarity because
Some clarity, right. So did that satisfy you or is there still like more that you're unclear about? Because I feel like they've done a lot of meetings, a lot of work went into this. They've taken everything into consideration and made some changes, but they don't look like drastic changes. So I'm just wondering if you did get clarification on, or there's still more you wanted to get clarification on.
Where it says the location of the proposed blasting activity, I know in March, when the survey crew came over, he showed me the map and, I mean, say this was the lot. My land is here. He said that the blasting was gonna be, on his map, there was an X stating the blasting was gonna be here. Well, I knew darn well that the blasting was here because I had spoken to the contractor. So are we measuring by an X on a map, or are we measuring by an actual location of the blasting? Because that was a similar thing I noticed with the Highland subdivision maps as well. It was an X on a map, not the actual location.
That's a great question.
It should be the actual location.
Should be blueprinted right before and measured out and exactly that's where it's gonna be.
Just curious, what type of amendments can we make today that would satisfy you so we can move this forward?
Or would you like to be a part, if it got moved back to ordinance, would you attend that meeting?
Oh, 100%. I would have been at that first meeting had I known about it.
Thank you.
Only because it has affected my family for so long. I mean, when the Highlands was going on after that huge blast, the blasting company was actually sending a team over to our house with initial blast or any additional blasting. And they either were throwing a drone up with a seismograph machine or they were putting it on our property. So it's 100% affected my family. So that's my purpose. It's not just a matter of, oh, it's a blast, they built the foundation. That's not what occurred.
Right. If we were to throw it back though, do you have already like things that you would say at the meeting that you want changed? That like, is this all like totally? Like it all
just
makes,
the
seems to
clar-
make sense.
The clarity of the location of the proposed blasting, not just an X on a map that some developer drew up, the actual location.
Do you have a sub-paragraph that you were talking about?
On page 2, letter D. If that could have a little bit more clarity to state that.
All applicants shall contain the following information: the location of the proposed blasting activity.
Right.
So I believe it's saying that all applications have to have that in there, exactly where they're gonna blast. So I mean.
Right, is it the location of the lot or the area, or is it the
It's the
location?
location of blasting,
Of the
yes ma'am, that's
blasting.
what it says, right, that's what I take from this.
I don't
Anybody
get
else?
that. I don't get that
Scott, how can we fix this right
You
now?
don't see the clarity?
I don't.
I mean,
It's different if you mention geographic location versus a circle on a map.
And if we're,
It says,
It says locations.
if I could break this down just real quick, all applications shall contain the following information: the locations of the proposed blasting activity. So it's saying this is the location. It's not saying this is the proposed location or the maybe location. They have to put in there where it's gonna be blasted. I mean, I don't know how it can be more, I guess.
You could have
Well,
And that's just
Location could
me.
be, a location could be 475 Northeast Road.
So
And without
Longitude.
indicating where on the lot the blasting would be. So having a precise
if I
location
may,
is important.
certainly, when applications come to the planning board, that's what I'm most familiar with because I staff the planning board. So for the larger projects that come to the planning board, they provide us a engineered map that shows a location on the face of the earth, not just a address, but a physical location of where they expect to be doing blasting. Now, it may not be the exact within feet, this is the exact spot, but there's usually a cloud that says, within this area, we know there is ledge that we need to blast. So from the edges of that area is where we measure these distances. The greatest extent of where that blasting should be occurring. I can't speak to the X on the map that a survey company, like the pre-blast survey company came out with. I don't know if anyone in town staff saw that specific person. But certainly when things come to the planning board, we have a physical location on the face of the earth where the blasting is expected to occur.
And does that information get passed to the abutter?
For planning board applications, they get all that, the notice of that blasting is happening on their property adjacent to them. If we don't mail out a packet with that, they would have to reach out to the town.
And they can find
Respond to
out.
that notice and we would provide it to them.
I was just wondering, so that way if they see somebody that's supposed to be over here, but they know it's supposed to be over there, and they see somebody over here, they can call the town and be like, hey, they're doing something they're not supposed to. That way they feel better knowing exactly where it is. I just didn't know if they get information on that.
They get a notice that blasting is proposed on, and they get the address, property address. They would have to reach out to the town for the associated materials with that application.
Okay, great.
So we just
Question.
added must be located on an engineered plan. Would that get there? The places that are proposed blasting activity must be located on an engineered plan, something.
Yep.
but would an engineered plan be required for a house lot?
Like,
Because with a small blast, like a house lot for a foundation, it would just be the code enforcement's officer's purvey to approve that. Because they potentially would be blasting less than 300 cubic yards of material. So would it,
Also, according to what's written here, it's up to the responsibility of the abutter to reach out and get a map when the person who's doing the blasting, it should be included in the notice. So it's up to the responsibility of the abutter to reach out and ask for where they're blasting, rather than just saying, hey, we're blasting this day. They should include where they're blasting. That would be, I don't think that's unreasonable.
I'm only aware of the Highland subdivision.
Yeah.
I would suggest you look at a copy of their blasting application. The 500-foot circle that was shown for the blasting area.
Yeah, I think there's enough questions tonight to warrant it going back to ordinance, just for some clarifications. The world is not gonna stop spinning if we don't pass this tonight, because it's gonna affect more than one person. That's where I'm going with it.
Well,
We've closed public.
I haven't closed it.
A little bit of experience with the blasting over the years. Paul Tebow from Hammond Beach Road. One of the things is, I haven't heard, is who from the town actually witnesses the blast. In this residential areas, when I was down in Burlington, we had somebody from the town witnessing the blast to make sure that it was on the right site, the right area, seismograph was set up, and everybody knew what was going on. Blasting continued on for over the years, and all of a sudden in the last 10 or 15 years, rather than blasting, they come in with the big jackhammers and took it out in small lots so that you don't get this blast. And I'd be worried about a well too, because it does go through the ground, it shakes the ground. And I'd suggest that they put in the ordinance for somebody from the town to be at that site the day of the blast, to make sure that it's on the right spots. Thank you.
Thank you. So where we're at is basically we can either vote to send it back, we can vote again on it to pass it. If not, it fails and we just move it to next month.
If I can make another motion to send it back to ordinance for clarifications and public questions, I make a motion to do that.
I second that, and they ought to look at the seismic effects on wells and have experts there testify about is the 500 feet an appropriate distance or not. There's lots of news stories out there about people whose property was subjected to fracking for propane and shale oil and such, and adverse effects on their wells. I think this is a serious issue that warrants going back and having a further review. I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to send it back to ordinance. And we have a second, all in favor? We have 2 yeses, all opposed? 3 opposed,
Abstain.
1 abstain.
May I ask a question, since the votes happened? Why opposed to sending it back?
I think that there's been a lot of meetings and a lot of work that's already gone into it, and that I see nothing wrong with it. I think everything they've put in there, they've taken into consideration, and I just feel that it should be moved forward. That's just my feeling right now, so I don't want to prolong it any longer.
Makes sense.
And I'm just, that's my opinion, is just to move it forward. I would like to move it forward. It got this far now with a lot of work and a lot of effort, and to have, more money to go into, have to look into it and time and stuff like that.
Well, I was just gonna make a point of order, really.
Yes.
At this point, shouldn't just go into unfinished business for next month and we readdress it then?
That's what I'm saying, like, if it fails, then that's what would happen, so what was your suggestion?
It goes to unfinished business with a tie, but right now it's failed.
A moment
right
ago,
now, but
Phil
we
asked
can-
me if there was any amendments that I could offer that might address some of these issues. Are we still open to entertaining that?
Well, this is where I'm at. We can bring stuff forward at the next meeting. This is only the first reading. We can tweak this. We have a month to tweak this. The ordinance committee is meeting. So, I mean, we can tweak this up, but
As long as it's not substantial change. So what was your?
The minor changes that I would recommend that would start to address these issues, I mean, again, this is not a full sit down, this is off the top of my head, but we could amend that point on page 2 under B2D, the locations of proposed blasting activity to be read as the specific locations within the property where blasting is proposed, would give us a better idea of exactly where the blasting is. That lays that out more clearly, our expectations. And then if people are concerned about wells in particular, we can up that radius of where the tests are required to be done at the cost of the applicant. There is at least one other town that does have an 1,000-foot radius. We could do 1,000 feet instead of 500 feet if that would help address those concerns.
Would you further amend it to require a town employee be present to witness the event, and also that they consider alternative means such as these large jackhammers as an alternative method they resort to?
I don't believe that I would personally not recommend that the town try and pass judgment on which approach to clearing material is appropriate. No one on the town is a earthwork professional, and I would personally find that a little presumptuous to recommend what manner in which is best to remove material. As to putting a staff person from the town on site during blasting, that would be something we should go back to ordinance committee on, because that's gonna have to be a talk to the code office, to the town manager about how best to use staff time. Because that would be some parts of the year wouldn't matter, but some parts of the year we would have somebody run around town. That would take up some time, and I know that that's not my place here tonight to comment on whether we have that kind of capacity.
Point of order.
No,
We've
I would-
already
one
voted
second.
3-2 so this is passed. We should be moving on to what's next on the agenda.
We need
We've
4 votes.
already got the direction we're going. I don't think we need to debate this anymore.
Thank you. And so final comment, is that, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on in the town, building wise and stuff like that. We don't put town employees out there to keep an eye on and make sure they're doing it. If they're doing it wrong, they get caught, they pay a fine and things like that, right? I mean, so that's going, I think, a little too far, but, so at this point, is there a motion to vote again, or?
It failed
We got the
twice.
vote.
Well, it failed, it has not been
You have
moved.
to have four.
Right, we
Yeah.
got a 3-2 vote, so we're moving it to the next meeting.
You can only move to the next meeting with a tie.
With a tie. Right.
Make a motion to collect.
So I'll make a motion that we amend this, as Scott mentioned, with those 2 changes and move forward with that.
I'll second
Second.
that. All right, so we got a motion to move it with the 2 amendments, rewording it.
Extend it to
And
1,000.
knowing that we're gonna have an ordinance committee this month and could add a few changes along the way. This just is moving it along so we can get to the second reading and then make changes and then even move it further and not dragging this along. So, I'll roll call.
Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
No.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing,
No.
Thomas,
Abstain.
and Watson.
Yes.
So it still fails. It doesn't get moved to the next meeting because it failed.
Okay.
We don't
let's
have a
move on.
tie. Huh?
Move on.
We can't move on. 'Cause
We
it
do
failed.
move on because it's not gonna change. It's gonna be 3-2 till midnight here. So we move on.
Gentlemen,
I don't
It
think we
fails.
can.
At a 3-2 vote, it is considered failed. I have that in writing from the lawyers.
Right, and then what?
You gotta revote to, and then what?
Until we
They
get
can
one?
present it.
If it doesn't move forward, if it fails, if it doesn't move forward, it's done.
It's done,
Right.
it's dead. It's just the way it is, and then after, where does it go?
Nowhere.
It's done.
It's done.
It fails as if it was voted down.
Right.
so making the amendments that you suggested tonight really is no different than sending it back to the ordinance committee where other residents can be involved in the conversation.
Not getting
and you
stopped
can
from
make
going to
them
the
there.
ordinance committee. They can still come and we can still make changes in the ordinance committee.
Correct.
Right, what's the difference? It's still going back to the ordinance committee. If we pass it along for a second reading, it's gonna have an ordinance meeting, like we said, and there's gonna be people invited and put it out, and it's having it back to the ordinance committee, but instead of we're having to come back again for the first reading. Now it's in between the first and second reading, and we can make those changes and have people come.
Will the ordinance committee have the agenda on the website for the next meeting? So people know that this is what's gonna be discussed.
I'm sure we can put it out there, like
Seeing
post
Hedge
it.
over there, so.
Yes, we can post that and make it known to the town that, hey, we're doing this, and people know. And it's, yes.
Just because we pass this tonight doesn't mean the ordinance committee can't take this up 3 months from now and look at it again and make changes.
That's what I'm
All we're
saying.
doing is putting what we think is a good document out there. 3 months from now, if someone comes in and says, hey, we need to change it, it just goes back to the ordinance and comes back to the council with a change. I mean, this isn't the locked in stone for the rest of our life ordinance right here.
Right, and I think that where we're at, and I can see why you'd wanna, because there's concerns and things like that, but the only difference is if we send it back like you're requesting and wanting to, is that it goes back, but then we have to go all the way back to the first reading again and start over. Where this way, we can move it forward on the first reading, and then in the second reading, we could, if it doesn't, nothing happens, we can vote it down. But there's gonna be an ordinance committee, and we're still gonna have that ordinance committee that you want with it passed forward, and now we move on afterwards and we get it to that second reading, and it doesn't slow this down.
When's
Is what I'm saying, so it's kind of both is getting what they want, right?
When is the next ordinance meeting?
April 21st.
So that's a couple weeks?
Yep.
Is there a rush on moving this first reading forward? What's the rush on having it done right now? Why not wait the 2 weeks and
Well, it's
have
not,
amended?
because like I said, it's then.
Yeah, you
then
wanna
in
pass
May-
it now.
Then in May, you're gonna once you have the ordinance committee in April,
Mhm.
you're gonna have instead of going back and having the first reading again, we'll be able to have the second reading.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm.
So we're
that's what I'm
pushing
asking.
it back a month.
I think there's only 2 or 3 things in here you're concerned about. You're not concerned about the whole ordinance here, so why start from day one again?
'Cause it's
If there's
one
only a
resident.
couple of 3 things, then she can come to the next ordinance meeting. We've already talked, Scott's already made some changes, I think, that she appreciates tonight. So I'm not sure why we can't move this forward with the idea, we're having an ordinance meeting. I don't think there's a lot here we're gonna throw out here. I think we're gonna change a couple sentences, maybe. A little bit of wording. I don't see why we have to throw the whole cat out.
Brendan?
Well, if it doesn't get moved forward tonight, then it just fails and it dies and it is as it is. It just stands.
Right.
So we're not moving in any direction, so we.
That's right.
Right, and then, I mean,
You're out the 2 weeks from the first reading, basically.
well, it's more than that, because then you gotta go to May, 2 weeks into May,
Mhm.
which could be the second reading instead of the first reading, instead of slowing it
Right,
down.
a month, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if we move it forward, I'm just saying, you still get the ordinance committee like you want, with people coming.
Mhm.
And then it get, then we're all kind of negotiating and getting a little bit of, everybody's getting what they want.
I'm willing to change, as I said tonight, I'm willing to bring amendments forward. I'm surely willing in 2 weeks to bring anything that we all agree on in ordinance forward into the second reading. So I don't know why we have to start. Like I said, I think we've got a good base here, and all we gotta do is tweak a couple sentences. We worked hard on this. This isn't something that just popped up.
I have no doubt that you guys worked hard on it. I think there's a lot of clarifications that need to happen. There's a lot of questions. There's probably a lot more of the residents that would like to be involved, especially because the town is expanding. Blasting is gonna be happening more often. I think more people would like to be involved, and if we pass it tonight and you guys make changes at the next ordinance meeting, there might be just a crap ton that makes this null and void. That's all I'm saying. If the meeting agenda for the next ordinance meeting can be guaranteed to be on the website,
I think Scott already guaranteed
I
that.
mean, the agenda for the last one was on the website. It apparently was not pushed out to the automatic email notices for some reason, but the agenda was posted on the website. It will be posted for this month as well.
I go to the residents' calendar every week, And every week I've gone there, the agenda is posted for anything we're doing, whether it's capital or whatever. So I'm not sure where Tony said it wasn't posted at times earlier, but I know it's there. Maybe people aren't sure how to get there, but it's there.
You make a motion if you want one.
Well, I didn't, as a chair, I tried not to make it too, I didn't think I could, but, I mean, I just feel like we're going around in circles, yes, ma'am. And I think we both can get what, or it's not even getting what we want. I just feel like this has been a lot of work, and I just feel like I want to move it forward and not miss, if we can keep it going with some work on it. Yes, there's opportunity for work, and it's gonna be posted like you asked, that we'll have a ordinance committee meeting, we'll invite people, it'll be on the website. And then once you have that meeting and you get if anything needs to be changed and added in, comes to the second reading, and we add that in, now we move it along. I make a motion that we revisit, passing with the few amendments, 2 amendments, and move it to the second reading in May with an ordinance committee in between.
I'll second that.
Oh, can you refresh on the 2 amendments?
They were
1,000 foot for the well.
1,000 feet for the well.
And a specific location on the map.
And that it will read, the locations of the proposed blasting activity will be specific locations within the property.
Okay, I'll make an amendment that we add these 2 to the original.
Yeah, that's what I just did. So you seconded it. So
Just want to be sure.
now we'll do a roll call.
Yes, Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
No,
Pomelo,
Yes,
Strubing,
Yes.
and Watson.
Yes.
That's 4 yeses.
I would encourage you to just follow up with Scott and Zach and just to get some work done ahead
And
of
so
time.
passes. Thank you, everybody, for working hard on that. A lot of great points and comments, and I think we did good work. Let's move on.
Okay, so moving on to 35-26. Amendments to Standish Town Code, Chapter 181, Capital Impact Fees. The town of Standish hereby ordains that Chapter 181 Capital Impact Fees of the Standish Town Code be and hereby is amended as follows. Additions are underlined.
A second. We got a motion to waive the reading with a second. All in favor? We have, I'm sorry, I didn't see down there. Okay, unanimous.
I'll just sum this up for you real quick. This is adding impact fee for developments that are gonna be impacting traffic flow on the 25-35 corridor and the 35 corridor down here. Oh, just 25.
Yeah, just 25, 30.
So anything that makes traffic go more over there, this is adding an impact fee to help
So is that
offset the cost of
on new construction that's in that area, new developments?
yes, and only developments, not single-family houses.
Yeah, so only development.
How far out?
So the area would be anybody that's gonna put traffic through either the 25-35 intersection or the Hannaford intersection.
And it's up to Goral Palmer on the side or the traffic.
So when somebody comes to the planning board with a subdivision that would put traffic through either one or both of those intersections, they would say, here's what we think we're gonna put through that intersection, and it would be reviewed by us. We'd come to an understanding of how many trips it would generate, and that's how the actual fee is in the ordinance as well. So that's how it kind of gets calculated. If you have any other questions, please.
Now, what if it's both intersections? Like, is it more?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would be.
Like, if it's halfway down and it's gonna affect both directions, do they pay double impact fees?
No, it would be based on the trips. So if they're only putting, it's really focused on the intersection. That, you gotta think, if they're going through that intersection, they're probably going through the other intersection.
Yeah.
So, maybe not though, maybe they're going through that way, I understand what you're saying, but most likely they would be going towards Portland. That's what
Well, my thought is like if they're building, if somehow there's a development going in somewhere down here, and they're coming up this way to go to work or go to Hannaford, but then they're gonna go through that intersection and head to Wyndham.
They wouldn't hit that,
Stuff
they
like
wouldn't
that.
hit this fee.
Okay,
We would kind of have to come to understanding with both our engineer and their engineer about what they're gonna be doing. Something that we could agree on, but if the subdivision is going in off Whitesbridge Road, that likely wouldn't cause anything to be charged to them.
that's further out, I was
Yeah,
thinking, I was
that's-
just thinking like Shaw's Mill, Moody Road, in
might-
between these two intersections.
Yeah, it might put through a few trips, but nothing significant.
Yeah, sure. Any public comments? Seeing none, any council comments? Yes, Lisa.
C2 on the first page, the construction of the new residential dwelling unit that replaces a dwelling unit. Does that mean that when they replace those dwelling units, they're of the same size? Or what if they put in a bigger unit with like a rental underneath? Is that considered, it's on the same footprint, but they've added another level?
I think that section is intended to only refer to people that are either putting what was existing back on there, so if they were doing something different, I guess we would look at that, but it's only exempting somebody either tearing down. It's meant to exempt people that are already here, that are just building something else or building something new. But if they're adding people, we would have to look at that.
Okay, and this is only for residential impact fees?
Correct.
So it has nothing to do with business impact fees?
Any other comments? Yes.
Can we
Jen?
just have a summary of what we have for impact fees now? So there is recreation, and that's got an established amount.
Recreation that is currently on the books, that has an amount of 4,000, and then public safety is on the books as well for 2,200. Those are assessed to any new development in town, whether it's single family or subdivision. So those are the existing ones, as well as a road impact fee, which again is only applies to subdivision, and it's just something we've had on the books forever. Typically, we get that money for paving or reconstruction costs, is what that mainly applies to. So this would be a fourth one.
Thank you.
But again, it's only for subdivisions or planning board projects.
Are there any projects that this is gonna affect? Are there any projects right now?
We've kind of, I mean, it does affect some projects now, so.
So there'll be,
I think all the applicants are aware of that, we made sure that they understood that this was kind of in
that
the
if it
works.
gets past that,
Yeah.
they'll be charged impact fees? Yep.
Yep.
I think this will answer your question. When is the impact fee assessed? Is it assessed at the time the permit is pulled or in the planning
Yeah,
board?
thank you.
It's at the planning board stage. Yep.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing,
Yep.
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses, so passes.
36-26 amendment to Town of Standish fee schedule, gravel pit fees. Order that the Town of Standish fee schedule is amended as follows, effective immediately. This is under gravel pits, and it's for annual inspection fee for type 2 and 3 pits. It's from $750 to $1,000. I can read the rest of the fee schedule if you would like.
No, I was just reading it over.
Okay, cool.
Any public comments? Council comments?
Just a quick question.
Yes.
Why is the type 2 and 3 the only one that has an increase?
We don't inspect type ones. So we have three types of gravel pits that somebody can come in under. We don't inspect type ones.
There's a $500 fee for annual inspection of type 1.
We don't inspect them, do we?
I don't think so.
I don't know, we should get rid of that fee. We don't inspect
I
them.
think maybe at one point in time, we did a long time ago. It's just
I'm not actually
removed.
Okay.
Would you inspect the gravel pit to determine if people are shooting there illegally?
That's law enforcement.
That's a noise complaint. So depends on they
With the inspection, what does the inspection cover?
the inspection, again, this is for the third party for someone to go out and just make sure that they're doing everything they're supposed to do in terms of their planning board. That's the planning board approved plans and everything that went along with that. So, I can't really speak to everything that goes along with that.
But they're making sure that they're not going bigger than they're supposed to.
Yeah,
not,
so they have
certain
an
things.
approved excavation area.
So it has nothing to do with like people that goes out there and do things that they're not supposed to be doing. That's
No,
that's law enforcement.
That's something different. They're looking out, making sure that they're doing everything according to their approved plan, because that's the other thing. Type 1s don't go through the planning board either, so we don't really have, there's only one that I know of in town anyway. So the rest are type 3.
So it's, if somebody wanted to have a permit to open a type 1, they would just get the permit approved and then they wouldn't get inspected?
Yeah. They're not very big, type 1s.
So is that $500 just for the permit then, or is that if we're not inspecting it?
That would be for the inspection. We may have to review that fee and get rid of it.
Okay, any questions?
Probably I'd make an amendment that we eliminate the $500 fee from type 1. Yes.
I think Zach said it has to be reviewed first. Does it have to be reviewed before you remove it? Just to
We
make sure?
should probably look at the ordinance itself too, Phil, just before we do that, just to make sure that not conflicting with the actual ordinance.
I feel like maybe we should be inspecting them. Why are we allowing, you know what I mean? Like if they're gonna be if we're gonna say that 2s and 3s need to be inspected to keep under a certain standard, so shouldn't 1, right? If we don't inspect them, then they could be doing things that they're not supposed to be doing when, right on the right. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but if we're not, and then I'm not an expert in this field, so if you're saying we don't need it and we should get rid of it, and depending on the ordinance, then that's maybe what we should do.
We could talk about an ordinance committee. There's only, like I said, there's only one in town.
Okay.
It's not, I mean, I don't think it's even active.
Oh, okay.
So,
Correct me if I'm wrong, the $1,000, bumping up to $250, $1,000 was only to cover what the company charges us, and it's just.
yeah, so this is what we get charged.
So what we get charged is this.
And then the gravel pit actually pays this fee back to us.
Right.
So whoever we hire to go out there.
Yeah.
Charges $1,000 now, and we don't make any money on it. Okay. All right, no more questions? Roll call?
Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
No.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
5 yeses, 1 no. Passes.
And then it's 36, moving on to 37-26, acceptance of a street name, Young's Way. Order that the following street name as submitted by the property owner is accepted by town council as required by the provisions of chapter 252-23 of the Standish Town Code. Young's Way, a private road that would be located off tax map 14 off the end of Quail Ridge, which is off Route 35 Northeast Road in the vicinity of Sebago Lake Village.
Other comments? Council comments? Roll call?
Gardner,
Yes.
Deacon,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Strubing,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses, so it passes. Just a question on this, is this another one that we could not have come in front of us and go to the town manager? No?
We can look into that. Do you know off the top of your head?
Road change, name change,
You
why?
know, John and I talked about it, and I don't remember what he said, to be honest. John Cross, I'll follow up with John.
I don't think there's been one we've never approved, so yeah,
Well, that's what I mean, like, it's just, they come, we have to, you
we
know,
always approve it. you know.
paperwork and
If the
less
paperwork-
stuff, so if we can, I just was throwing it out there, maybe that was stuff that we could look at, make it easier, will work for you.
I like it.
All right, next.
All right, 38-26, call for annual municipal election and town meeting referendum vote, authorize placement of referendum questions on the ballot, authorize warrant, and call for public hearings in advance of the June 9, 2026 town meeting referendum vote. Order.
Motion to waive the reading, please.
Second. All in favor? Yep, all six. Any public comments? Anybody want to speak on this? Questions, concerns, just basic voting information and stuff? Roll call?
Gardner?
Yes?
Deacon?
Yes.
Pomelo?
Yes.
Strubing?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
And Watson?
Yes.
All right. So moving on, we will go to any public items anybody would like to bring up or talk. Throw it out there. This is anything you want to talk about that we covered tonight or not on the agenda.
Deanna Loring, 166 Oak Hill Road. On March 30th, I've sent you, Mr. Gardner, you, Mr. Watson, Mr. Mosier, and Mr. Hastings an email in regards to an abutter next to mine, the one who I went and let blast, and he went in with the hammer drill. And I was told on March 4th that this is a residential lot. At this point, there is now a cliff which was once a wooded hillside. 15 feet from that cliff is my property. And I have some valid questions as to at what point did a residential lot turn into what looks like a landing pad for helicopters? And there's well over 1,000 cubic feet of material that was brought out. And if you just go look at the sides, there is a huge amount of material that was brought in because part of that area is a wetland. And now I'm 15 feet from a cliff that is already starting to erode. And I've got 50, 60 foot tall trees that their root structure has been damaged. And when those trees fall and go into the new neighbor's yard, I'm gonna be responsible for that. And I didn't create that damage to those trees. And what's to stop this 15-foot abutting portion of land from eroding into my land?
I can speak to it. I don't know if you recall the email. So I actually drove down there with our code enforcement and with our public works director, and I spoke to Mr. Levitt. John, like the council isn't really the one you should address. You should start with code enforcement. It wasn't sent to him. And if he doesn't get back to you, you can send it to me, but the council isn't really, they don't handle daily operations. I do, or my staff does. And so because it wasn't sent to him, he didn't respond, but I was made aware of it and we did look into it. I know that he made some remediations, and I know like your land abuts it, but not a house, but I get your concern. I would start with JP. And then, like I said, I did go down there and walked it and saw it, and he can follow up with any concerns.
And you saw that it's a mess. It was a wooded lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what, I didn't look at any maps. I drove down it. And so I can't really speak to what it should or was. I just saw the after.
I'm glad somebody actually went and saw it though, at least. Thank you.
I would, yeah, of course, I would follow up with JP, and if what he doesn't at code enforcement, he can start you in the right direction at least.
And the reason I went to the other people, because I chose town council, ordinance, Mr. Mosier, Mr. Hastings.
So Mr. Mosier isn't even an employee anymore.
Okay. Well, sorry about that.
Or no, sorry. I was thinking, I thought, no.
Oh, Mr. Brown.
It was sent to Roger Mosley.
Oh.
Not Mosier.
Oh.
Mosley.
Okay, well, that's why.
Our former public works director got it. Sorry, Zach. I thought she said Mosley, not
Wait a minute.
You're red. You're bright red, that's for sure.
And I did that because I know that JP just thinks I'm just a complaining piece of crap. And I'm sorry, if you lived with what we've
Yeah,
lived
no,
with.
I have no doubt. And sorry, Zach, I thought she said Roger mostly, because we did talk to Roger.
Because it,
Yeah, no,
And we
feel free to
can't-
CC me and.
I definitely will, because we can't put the dirt back. And now we've got a cliff.
Mr. Levitt did come back though and added some mulch and some remediations. I saw it. I saw them do it. So, I mean, follow up with JP and I'm happy.
I will, I'm not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, well, thank you for.
I would just say, that I wouldn't worry about what anybody thinks of you. It's your land, your property, and you gotta protect it. So like, if you have
Exactly.
questions or concerns, I say ask all the ones you feel that you need until you get the information that you
But
are
you can only
satisfied
ask
with.
so many times.
No, I agree. I agree. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up. Any other questions or anything from the public? All right, we'll close that. Announcements, anybody have any announcements? No? Before we adjourn, I just want to thank everybody for a good meeting. There was a lot said, a lot done, and I think we did some good work tonight. So, thank you very much.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Pomelo seconds, all in favor? Unanimous?
Anywhere.
We are adjourned.